Just got back from a red-eye flight, and before the sleep really sets in, we gotta make Good Morning Mario. So good morning Mario and good morning Switch fans. I luck out being left-handed because you always get to see the front of the mug. If I was a righty, like then the mug's facing me, but you'd never see it. So thank goodness for left-handers out there. And if I fall asleep while recording this video, because it's hitting me fast, please press pause or something, because I'm terrible at file management, so I don't even have a ton of gigs available on my PC. Anyways, what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Glad to be back. We got big, bad news today. I mean that in the sense of like, not like, oh, it's terrible. I'm not about to tell you something like Nintendo doesn't have any games the rest of the year. Oops. They don't. They do. But anyways, let's get it kicked off. We'll get into our $70 scandal in a bit, but I want to start off with something kind of fun, okay? I've been gone a bit, and Mario plus Rabbids announced their new DLC is coming soon. It is the last Spark Hunter. It takes place in the Melodic Gardens, and this is going to be the middle DLC pack. So the first one was kind of a tower mode. The second one seems to be a story pack, and then the third one is the Rayman. He comes to the game, and I don't know, the world combusts because Mario and Rayman in the same universe in the same game is pretty psycho. The last Spark Hunter seems to be a girl with, I think she has an umbrella. I think that's her mark of evil. But she says right on time. Looks like a new planet, looks like a new boss, new evil rabbit, and looks like it's going to be really fun. They do not have a date for it. This feels like it could be a Nintendo Direct stealth drop if we do get a summer Nintendo Direct. It also feels like it could just be a Ubisoft stealth drop if they do some sort of showcase. It's coming mid this year, and at the end of their little Twitter teaser, it just says, what does it say? It doesn't even really say anything. It's just right on time. It doesn't give any, like, I mean, I don't know. What's right on time for you? Probably yesterday, but it's actually happening sometime soon. I'm excited for that because Mario plus Rabbids Spark of Hope is awesome. Now, Sony says Nintendo is not awesome, and they're about to have a showcase today, so I understand it, but I just wanted to bring this before you so you could see how ridiculous it is. Sony posted this graphic about the strongest gaming brand, okay? Now, no slight to Sony. They've had great games. PS5 is doing pretty well. You know, they're not in the same boat as Xbox. They've had some heavy hitters already, some huge successes on the platform, and they've got more coming with Spider-Man 2 and whatever else is announced today. They claim that their brand momentum is the highest of everybody. But the funny part here is that they say that Nintendo's brand momentum has stayed the same since 2018. Okay, since 2018. So that's like year 1.5 of Switch, and they're saying it stayed the same and dipped a bit. They mark Sony's brand momentum at this percentage as high as 73% and currently at 65%, whereas they say Nintendo's high was 58% and now at 53%. You're telling me that from 2018 till 2023, Nintendo's brand momentum has stayed the same, if not gone down? No. Think about how many Switch they've sold. Think about Animal Crossing New Horizons. Think about Mario Kart numbers. This is clearly a case of Sony just drinking their own Kool-Aid. Blue Kool-Aid for everybody on the showcase day, and I get it, I understand, but it's silly, and I just wanted you to see how silly this stuff can be, right? Like, there's no way Nintendo's brand momentum has stayed the same. Think about 2018. Okay, Mario Odyssey just came out. I think we had Pokemon Let's Go. Now we have so much. Now the system is like 130 million units deep. It's crazy. Poo on you, Sony. Go show off some good new IP and try your best to beat our second half lineup of nothing. I dare you. You'll probably do it in a heartbeat. But we will have a direct at some point, and I can guarantee you that. Next up, Nectar Juice Bar is bringing 3 Mario, Splatoon, and Kirby ice cream flavors. This is cool. I just found a Nectar near me. If you want to get some Mario Kart Cookie Cruiser, Splatland's Birthday, or Kirby's Dreamberry, boom. You got it. 3 ice cream flavors. Okay, enough with that jibber jab. Let's get to the big thing, which is the next $70 game on Switch. All right, this is a big deal because we had one $70 game and it kind of really sent shockwaves. Now, nobody cared about paying $70 because it was Tears of the Kingdom. A lot of people's top game on the Switch, some people's top game of all time, and an absolute 10 million seller after just a few days. The game is incredible. The game is creative. The game baffles developers. The game is brilliant. So $70 was no problemo. But it's the future that we worry about because Nintendo said, like, hey, we're going to do this on a case-by-case basis. Pikmin 4 is 60. We don't know if the next game will be 70. But now we do know the next game that is 70 on Nintendo Switch, and this is where Nintendo screwed up. It's a bit of a brain burner because I get it, but I really don't. And I think the only reason it's kosher is because of Tears of the Kingdom. And this is where, even though it's fine to pay $70 for a big, bold, huge, creative, physics, psychosis Tears of the Kingdom, it causes turmoil for the rest of the Switch lineup, future titles. Mortal Kombat 1 is coming this September. They're showing off gameplay in a couple of weeks. It's a reimagining of the franchise and characters with cameo characters from a bunch of other places. Sounds like we're going to have a superhero theme. Sounds like Megan Fox might be in the game. Sounds like Travis Scott might be in the game. And it's probably going to be amazing. And I love Warner Brothers for bringing so many other titles to Switch. And they're telling us day and date for Mortal Kombat 1. So don't worry, Mortal Kombat. I have love for you. I think you're going to be great. Mortal Kombat 11 was really fantastic on Switch. But now you're charging $70. You're charging $70 on Switch, which is the same price you're charging on PS5 and Xbox Series X. Even though we know that this port is going to look far, far worse. Now, I'm not trying to slight the Switch. Mortal Kombat 11, again, played pretty darn well on the platform, all things considered. It's just, no. When you pay $10 extra, you're supposed to be getting that extra boost. You're supposed to be getting that extra bump. And this is where things get dicey. Because now that Nintendo has opened the can of worms to charge $70, other companies are like, okay, they're used to it, they're ready, the waters have been prepped, okay? The baby is about to enter the bath for the very first time. Oh, he didn't get burned? Put him in the bath every night. Clean that darn child off. Prune those toes. And now we have a $70 Mortal Kombat 1. The question here is, why? What is the justification? The justification is the same as Tears of the Kingdom, which is because they can. Now, let me remind you that Mortal Kombat 11 was online only, meaning it really wasn't a Switch game. It was a Nintendo dock game. It was a at-home Switch game, but it really wasn't a Switch in the same way that Tears of the Kingdom can be taken everywhere. The main fun, great feature that would differentiate Mortal Kombat 1 on Switch versus the other platforms, the only advantage it would have is nixed by probably again being online only. If MK11 was online only, it would be very weird for them to reverse course for Mortal Kombat 1. The other thing is, we don't know how this one's going to perform. The last port worked very well, but this game should, in theory, have a much more difficult time moving to Switch. They have no PS4 or Xbox One versions of Mortal Kombat 1. It's just going to be on next-gen consoles. And somehow Switch. Now, barring some conspiracy theory of a brand new Switch 2, this is going to be one of the biggest gaps we see on Switch. In fact, it might be the biggest gap we have yet seen in terms of a port. I can't really think of another game that is next-gen only, but also on ye old Switch. Oh dear Switch, how will you run this masterpiece? Well, we'll charge $70 to find out. Now, maybe it is a tall task and a tough order to bring this game to Switch. And maybe they're going to do a brilliant job porting it, and maybe it's going to look amazing and be one of the showpieces for Switch, or the showpiece for Switch. It better be at $70. It makes no sense that this version of the game should incur the $70 price tag when we're not benefiting from better graphics, we're not benefiting from more detailed art, we're not benefiting from any of that. We're benefiting instead from Nintendo, who charged $70 for Tears of the Kingdom, opening the door for Warner Brothers to do the same. Warner Brothers in the past has not charged $70. They know the Switch is not a next-gen system. But now, you better hope that the Switch 2 comes fast. All y'all out there that are saying, no, we're fine with the Switch, you're going to start paying $70 for your Switch games, and they're not going to look or run or do anything different or better. They are going to be Switch games, like you've paid $60 for. And this is where a price bump does feel a bit gross, a bit greedy, and a bit unfun for our wallets. It's not $10 more because the technology is ramping up and the teams are huge and the games are so massive. Although it's great that we're getting Mortal Kombat 1 on Switch, I think that's incredible. I hope that the port plays great. This is clearly going to be a lesser, reduced version at the same price. And this is going to be, I bet, a big case going forward. We heard Sega recently talk about, yeah, Sonic should be $70. If Tears of the Kingdom is $70 on Switch, why ain't Sonic? Sonic has a humongous open creative world with a lore-driven story and all sorts of physics, sort of. $70 is going to become a much more normal price, and it's not going to be from Nintendo. Because I do believe Nintendo will honor their code and say, hey, we will determine when $70 feels right. To me, Metroid Prime 4 feels right for $70. I think for Nintendo, that is a step up. That is like a few rungs up the ladder from where they've been developing and the kind of games they've been making. Mario Odyssey 2, if that's a thing, that could be $70. It's got Mario in the name. It's a big, huge, bold vision and a massive sequel to a massively successful game. Maybe none of these games should cost $70, but Nintendo will not charge $70 for everything. And similarly, third parties will not charge $70 for everything, but if they can, they will. And there will be no justification. And maybe there doesn't need to be. Maybe $70 is just what it should cost in 2023, regardless if the game comes out on the Super Nintendo or the PlayStation 5. You could argue that, you can make that case, but at the same time, it does feel unfair. It does feel skeezy, it does feel rip-off, it does feel weird, and this game is going to be 2.9 or 31.9 gigs on Switch. Here's hoping that none of it's download. Here's hoping that it's not online, like cloud. Here's hoping that it's on the cartridge and that everything runs smoothly, because paying $70 is now the price you pay thanks to Nintendo. I would love to see a alternate world Doctor Strange come open that portal for me. Hello, Benedict. Please show me the way. Where there's another universe where Nintendo doesn't charge $70 for Tears of the Kingdom. Does Mortal Kombat 1 come in at $60 on Switch? Now, maybe they're just standardizing pricing because there is no last-gen version, but then there is a last-gen version because there's a Switch version. It's very strange. And maybe they don't want to upset the PS5 customers by charging less for Switch and feeling like they're overcharging. So maybe it is just a standardization of pricing model, and Nintendo Switch is just kind of coming along for the ride. Like, hey, you want to complain about the price? Well, we'll take the game away. You either get it or you don't get it. And if you get it at 70. It's either 70 or you don't get it. In that case, like, I guess I'll take it. I really would love to have it on Switch. It's going to be like maybe the first third-party day-and-date game to actually release, since so many others have been canceled, canned, or just mysteriously disappeared. But this $70 price tag thing is now going to become much more normal. And if Mortal Kombat 1 sees success on Switch, ooh, it's over. Hope for that Switch too, because then the $70 price point will feel a lot more justified. But at this point, Tears of the Kingdom won you over because it's Legend of Zelda, and it's like literally like the most wonderful thing ever. Mortal Kombat 1 will probably be wonderful in a very different way, surely. But is it $70 wonderful? And do you feel okay knowing that you're not paying for Nintendo's like beautiful firstborn son, Mr. Link? You're just getting Mortal Kombat, a third-party game, for $70, even though you can't even see the whole crypt because you got fog from eons ago and the graphics are just not up to snuff, and it's online only, so you can't even really switch it very much. Yeah, what do you think? $70 for Mortal Kombat 1? Did Nintendo screw us over? The answer is undoubtedly yes, but I'd still love to hear your take and your opinion. Do you feel fine paying for this? Would you rather have the games and get them for $70 than not get them at all? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. And until next time, love you lots. SwitchForce out.